We do so much goddamn laundry, especially once now the school year's fired back up. Now we got track practice, you know. Right. Cody could fill a load damn near every day, right? Because I don't know. I think he like walks by clothes and he's like, I think we need to wash
That's dirty.
So
So it's like a baby, like an infant.
I guess so. It's like a baby who's not washing his own goddamn clothes. I'll tell you that. Because if he did, he might make different decisions. He doesn't poop on himself very often, or
throw up on himself. Like he's not spitting up regularly anymore.
No, honestly.
That's good.
Honestly,
you know?
I think like Andre or I are more likely to do one of those things than he is for some reason.
Yeah, I guess you go for full circle, so you're getting closer to it than he is, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, for some reason, I just have no trouble envisioning, you know, Andre's sitting on the couch watching TV and just like, oh, what happened? I don't know why. I don't know why that's easier to envision than Cody, but it is. She's going to love this segment.
Yeah.
Of the podcast.
I mean, it is awful when you're like not able to make it.
Yeah. Well, I've missed the toilet like never in my adult life. I can't recall one, and I don't throw up that much, but the times I have are in the toilet and failing the toilet, a sink, failing the sink, a trash can, something. I feel like every goddamn time Andrea throws up, which isn't all that frequent either, but like more frequent than me. It's on the floor. I'm like, throw up goes in the toilet. Like, and who does that fall? Now she's sick or drunk or, you know, whatever. And like, so who does it fall on? It falls on me. I'm like, what the hell? Married. Nothing's better than cleaning up vomit. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, if you're going to pick one job in this world.
Yeah. Like diarrhea worse. But when does that happen? Like, are you like.
I wouldn't put it past her. There's usually clothing between the gut diarrhea and the floor, so there'd have to be a certain sequence going where you're like, oh no, you know. So the odds are lower. Yes.
A lovely scene.
Oh my God. We come up with the best topics.
I've been watching this show I can't wait to tell you about. It's called Fear Thy Neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Right? Which I think they could basically retitle Bullies Who Got What Was Fucking Coming. So like this last episode I watched, let me like lay this one out. So this man lives in an apartment on the ground floor with his family. He's disabled, right? So he's at home a lot. He gets an upstairs neighbor who's just gotten divorced, and he is super into really loud music. He does construction in his apartment upstairs, and he has a collection of cuckoo clocks that go off every 15 minutes. Okay.
You could make that up for like an Adam Sandler movie.
I know. I was like, who is this weirdo? Like,
this is like a Family Guy.
Yeah.
Like,
seriously.
Clock collector.
Right. Yeah. So there's just clocks going off constantly. There's music blaring all the time. He also is really into football and having friends over. So like whenever there's a game on, they're getting rowdy, whatever. Yeah. The neighbor's like, seems to be pretty reasonable. He like goes upstairs, like, hey, can we turn it down? It's pretty loud, blah, blah, blah. And the guy just will not have it. From day one, the guy's like, I just got divorced. I'm not looking for another wife to tell me what to do. And I'm like, okay. Wow. Like, I can't imagine why you're divorced. This keeps on going back and forth. The guy's just loud all the time and will not, like, it gets to where he's like just trying to be provoke the guy further. And then he also gets like verbally abusive. The guy is disabled, and so he's yelling at the guy's kids all the time and saying, well, you're a worthless, impotent lump of fat, like just awful, and then threatens to beat him up also. Finally, the guy downstairs, he like has a license to carry or whatever, and one day he gets really mad because the guys are having, like, it's a football game going, plus he has music on, the cuckoo clocks are going off. He's like slams the door a couple of times, which like makes one of the cuckoo clocks fall off the wall and break. And the guy flips out, starts yelling at him. The guy's like trying to get away, whatever. The guy has his gun and an extra clip. The neighbor like is beating him up, grabs the extra clip and starts bashing the disabled guy in the head with it. And the guy finally gets his gun out. He gets his gun and like manages to shoot him in the leg. And I was like, oh man, I was hoping this guy was gonna end up dead because
no doubt
he sounds like a horrible person, and he does. Yeah. Like, yay! Like, because he managed to hit an artery, and like,
he bled out in his leg. Yeah.
And so they have all the people on the show telling this story or whatever, and it's got the upstairs guy's friend who's like, he's totally entitled to play his music, and like maybe his clocks could get a little annoying sometimes. They are going off every 15 minutes. She's like, I hope he haunts him, blah 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 blah. I'm like, man, I can't even imagine. As an apartment dweller who's lived above and below people, I totally get it. And like, I don't know, these totally reasonable requests. It's not like somebody being like, sorry, you can't walk around at night or whatever. So anyways, that was this last episode.
So many reactions. What's the overlap between like the Venn diagram of the construction guy football fan that also is the cuckoo clock collector? This has gotta be.
He likes death metal and cuckoo clocks. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you before this episode, if you were like, picture in your head a cuckoo clock collector, right? You know.
Yeah, you've got Geppetto, right? Like got Pinocchio.
Yeah, exactly. Bushy mustache, you know,
like
sweater,
old
bow tie,
right?
Professorial sort.
Like, yeah, likely to make a boy out of wood. Like, not the guy who's also like, yeah, go Packers! Fucking have 20 of my friends over for a party with my death metal on. Nope.
Yeah, see, this one I got it at Neuschwanstein. This one's from the Schwarzwald.
While in Germany, I also heard this death metal. Like,
yeah. I went to Totenhosen, and then I went to, then went shopping for cuckoo clocks. So the thing that we neglected to do last episode was to set our 2025 goals. So, so let me refresh the goals from memory that I think I came up with. But one of them was around shorts, like X number of shorts per week.
Okay.
And then one was around guests, some certain frequency of guests, once a month or something like that.
Right.
I don't even know how we feel about guests anymore, honestly.
I'm trying to think of like my funny friends that would be appropriate. Like, should I bring my drug dealer? He's very funny.
You don't have to say how you know him.
Very unique perspective of things, like, for sure.
Tell us about your, do you have a 401k?
Yeah. How exactly do you allocate your savings? When you're thinking about investments, do you think about...
How much goes into the mohawk? And the tattoos.
Right.
I don't know. Every drug dealer in my mind has a mohawk, so anyway.
Yeah, that's really random. You're like,
yeah, I'm sure there's not that many.
Because like drug dealers are like 80s movies drug dealers for you. Like,
they're wearing a sport jacket with the sleeves rolled up.
Yeah, like they're like, hey man,
show me the goods.
This bag's gonna cost you $20. Yeah.
Show me the money. Show me the goods. Like the most like stereotypical
yeah,
drug
packing
exchange.
heat.
Are you wearing packing heat? Are you wearing a wire?
Maybe I should bring him on. I'll tell him to do a mohawk for sure.
Does he have crazy hair that he could
He's bald. But we can find something. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I'll go to the costume store and get one.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got I have something of a better process around the shorts now where I edit them in Opus.
Right.
And then the part that I find really challenging with the shorts is the title, the description, the hashtags.
Right.
All that.
Yeah, because Opus does not do a great job with titles, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and the hashtags are just absolutely terrible because they're hashtags. They're like Dippin' Dots humor, and you're like,
no. You're like, perfect.
Yeah.
Some people are
that'll get a million hits.
That's totally trending right now. Dippin' Dots humor.
Exactly. They're all, road trip funnies, and you're like, God. Like, throw me a bone here, Opus, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't come up with somebody to save our lives on some of these. So it's like, who do we at? Kamala Harris.
Like, at Kamala. I know. Like, fuck it. Like, whatever.
At least lately. I think the clips this week were about Trump, Dave Ramsey, and Nate Bargatze. So it's like, oh, for sure we're going to...
Okay, so we got some obvious. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
But then my Bangladesh guy was like, make sure you at least 2 people. And I'm like, all right, well, we just talked about Trump.
Nate Bargatze and Kamala.
Kamala Harris, obviously.
Yeah. At Dave Ramsey and at Kamala. Poor Kamala. They're like, we're keeping you alive, Kamala. That's what's going on here.
Well, she was in the news like yesterday because she presided over certifying the vote that she lost, you know. So yesterday was January 6th, right? And January 6th is when the riots were last time because they were certifying the election. Well, This time they certified the election with no issue.
I mean, have we had an election that's been as contentious as the Trump one? I don't know. Like,
if you're talking about, yes, there was one more contentious. Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
Well, the South seceded, prompted by his election to...
Duh.
Like,
yeah, slightly worse. That one is a little bit. People were a little more up in arms that time than this time.
Like literally, Trump
like
bad.
Fucking, we're leaving this goddamn country. Then, like, for real.
Yeah, Trump bad. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln election worse. I know who we're gonna at during this short. Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, motherfuckers.
That dude's got a huge TikTok following. And the hashtag will be like Abraham Lincoln funnies. And you'll be like, nothing's a richer source of comedy than Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Something about the Civil War is definitely more in the zeitgeist. You know, I feel like if you're like, here's the historical things that are still, big deals or historical wars. World War II, obviously way up there. Right. We're still making movies, whatever. Civil War, I don't know if Civil War or Vietnam War would come next, but those are certainly 2 and 3 in some order. I mean, but both of those rank way above. World War I, Korean War.
That. I have no idea when the Korean War was. Like, no clue. Like, the 60s or like the 1800s? I don't know. Like...
Kalyn Kimmel, student of history, obviously.
Yeah. People who are like super into history, I'm like, wow, that's something I'm just not about at all. Like, I don't know. I fucking really struggled. I took those in summer school so I could get that shit over with fast. I don't know. I don't remember any of it.
But I feel like high school history, I don't think they ever talked about the Korean War or the Vietnam War ever either. I mean, you learn about like freaking Brown versus Board of Education and stuff like that, which is in the same kind of time frame for sure.
Both of those wars, are those wars at the same time, roughly? Korean,
Brown versus
Vietnam?
Board of Education was not a war.
No, Korean War and Vietnam War.
Korean
and
War.
And the fucking fight to get like all people,
Where do you see this
together.
Cage match? In this corner.
War. Like,
in this corner, we have Brown.
Like
this. In this corner.
We got the Board of Education, bunch of fucking people in like wearing like
Geppetto outfits,
graduation robes, and like holding like.
I envision the Board of Education from Topeka in 1960, whatever, to be exactly like the Cuckoo Clock Collector, like sweater, bow tie, bushy mustache.
Oh, yeah. See, I had them basically as like British Parliament people, like could be wearing white wigs, like whatever.
Either way, I have no idea what Brown looks like. I don't even know his first name.
I thought Brown was a girl.
Could well be, but whoever he or she is, like, his or her chance in a cage match fight against the whole board of education. Like, either they got to be crusty old people, or this guy's got no chance at all. Are you pulling up what does Brown look like?
I'm like, who is Brown? Let's see. I just want to know if it's a man or a woman, really. It is Oliver Brown. You were right.
Oliver Brown.
Okay. But it was his daughter. Okay. Topeka, Kansas refused to enroll the daughter of local black resident Oliver Brown.
I am going to share my screen for the listeners. Oh, God, it's going to be tiny.
Thurgood Marshall. Oh, wait, not Thurgood Marshall. Who's the one on the Supreme Court, or the one that was on the Supreme Court?
Thurgood Marshall was on the Supreme Court, yes.
Is he a bad person? There's one of these guys that's like just up to no good, and I can't remember who it is.
This is the best conversation ever. All right. I can't get Oliver Brown's picture up, but first of all, he's not a fighting man. He is a reverend.
Yeah, that's right.
In a church.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And then in this picture, this cat, I'm pretty sure, is Thurgood Marshall here in the middle.
Okay.
But Thurgood Marshall was a civil rights attorney who argued a bunch of these cases, and then
so he's the good guy.
And then he got nominated to it depends on your point of view, Kalyn. Like, if you're a member of the Ku Klux Klan, then
he's up to no good. Up to no good. He's a bad man. Thurgood Marshall.
I promise you, there is a high school in the greater Houston area named Thurgood Marshall High School. So it's not in the district we went to school in. I can promise you that too, but it probably
is. The guy I dated in college, he went to Lee High School.
Yeah.
As in General Lee, who led the South. Yeah.
The Rebels probably was their mascot before we got rid of all those.
I think so, yeah. That's no longer the school's name.
Here in Ohio, there's one of these towns. They continue to hold out about their mascot name, which is the Redmen or something like that. And you're like,
oh, God.
It's like,
this fight is over.
Yeah. Why are we going to battle against, these graduates, they have Red Man pride from the 1970s when they graduated from school.
I mean, it's like, once the Cleveland Indians went away and the Washington Redskins.
Am I the only one who thinks like they just can't name a football team a good name anymore? Like, you mentioned two teams, not both football, but you mentioned the Indians. They came back with the Guardians, terrible name. The Redskins, which was like...
Redskins is freaking offensive. Like, that's pretty bad. Like, I mean, imagine, let's sub in any other ethnicity and like what they're, we're naming it after like the Chinese came and helped build the railroad forcibly here in America. So we'll call them the Yellowskins, like the Yellowmen. Like,
it'd be like calling them the Slant Eyes or something. Like, and then be like, what are you talking about?
What's the problem? Yeah. I've had pride in the Slant Eyes forever now. I have been a supporter of the Slant Eyes since I was a child. I cannot part with this name. What are we going to call them? Like the Americans? What? No, never.
And by the way, we named them that to honor the Chinese people. This is
totally. Like, the Cleveland Indians, like, their mascot was like really the pinnacle of like, this is totally honoring them. It's like, what's next? Like a tar baby? Like, I mean, this is not.
I know, Chief Wahoo. Living in Cleveland, do you know how many Chief Wahoo conversations I've had? Because people freaking love Chief Wahoo and they can't believe and there's t-shirts about like, keep the chief and all this. And I'm like, and people will be like, can you believe people are up in arms about Chief Wahoo? And I'm like, are you talking about our absurdly racist,
Yeah, I can believe it. It's not a huge jump here.
No, I mean, I can see like you dig Chief Wahoo, you have fine childhood memories, but like the whole like, like we gotta keep them, and
we have to keep it forever. Yeah, right.
We're not talking about Thomas Jefferson and like besmirching his reputation because he had slaves, or I mean, that's not good, obviously. But he also wrote the Declaration. Like, I don't think Chief Wahoo, like the guy who created Chief Wahoo on the side, wrote the Declaration of Independence.
We're like, this is America. Like, this is America. And this is what we do. We steal land from Indians and then we make fun of them for the rest of our lives. Like,
for centuries.
I need this. This is who I am.
And
like,
can't understand. We just can't understand why they would be offended.
Problem? Like, what is the problem here?
All right, maybe we should start talking about something we do get, Kalyn. I mean, we're about an hour in. Maybe it's time to start the show. We don't know anything about podcasting any more than we do about creating mascots for football teams, but let's cue the music. This is the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast, where we talk about mascots, our expertise in history. Was Thurgood Marshall a good guy or wasn't he? We don't know anything about that, but that doesn't stop us from talking about that. And it doesn't stop us from talking about finances and money, which we don't know about either. But that's why it's really important that we tell you the following disclaimer.
We don't give financial or investment advice. If you thought the past hour was leading up to a bunch of financial and investment advice, you're mistaken.
If that's what you thought,
sorry.
You are sadly mistaken.
You're like, when are we getting to that investment advice? Like, not coming.
I mean, there probably will be a stock chart in the near future, but whatever we have to say about said stock chart, do not take it as investment advice.
Keep in mind that I have no idea when the Korean War was, if it was even in the 18th or 19th century or 20th century. I don't know any of them. There was a war in Korea. I don't know what it was about. I have no, So, that's how much you should listen to me as an
But even
expert.
closer to home, Kalyn, you have things in your portfolio of your personal money. You have invested money in companies. You have no idea what they are or what they do. So if you thought the Korean War had any hope of getting Kalyn's attention, you are sadly mistaken.
Smart.
But if that's your bag, if listening to us talk about things we have no idea what we're talking about, hopefully in a funny way, then I suggest that you like and subscribe and forward this to your friends. Leave us a comment and shoot us an email, robertandkalyngetrich@gmail.com.
Today's January 7th. This is episode 35.
Yeah. I sure wish I had written down what I should have said in the intro.
Is it 35?
It is episode 35. Can you believe that? I was actually thinking about 30. When I was thinking about episode 35, I don't know if you recall, but last episode, I think I calculated the Gummy Bear has 14 episodes left. But what I thought about offline was oh, well, maybe if we pace ourselves, we could finish the Gummy Bear on episode 50. And then we could have a 50th episode bonanza where we celebrate the end of this, this monkey that's been on our back.
Yeah, no kidding.
And maybe we could have Justin and Kelly or something, or, all our biggest fans on.
Yeah, we can be like, here, eat this, get sick. Thanks for listening.
At that point, we'll be like, here's your share, Justin, and here's... You take a bite. Take a bite, and then
that's been in all of our mouths.
like literally, this was just in my mouth. It was like, here, you eat it. No.
There you go. This petri dish of Gummy Bear that we've had going for 50 episodes, which would be a year, basically. A Gummy Bear we've hung on to and been eating regularly for a year.
Who wouldn't join that scenario?
Yeah, our biggest fans definitely want in on that.
What's the problem? Well, we might have to celebrate with other gummy bears or something. So
yeah,
anyway.
we'll be like, here, we just opened this fresh pack of nice gummy bears, because this one's probably also to get a bite off of.
So guys, the countdown to episode 50 begins. Gummy Bear Watch 2025.
Yeah,
sounds
Justin,
amazing.
book your tickets.
All right. I cannot think of a better segue to our portfolio than that. So let's see how we've done. Oh my God, today is a bloodbath.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look at this number, though. Unrealized gains, almost 10%. Plus, you add $500 on top of that.
What's happened today, White?
Well, first of all, we're going to see in a minute that the stock market's doing terribly. But Denison Mines option is down now to 10 cents. So that's about half of the losses, $200 worth.
Right.
But Warner Brothers, Chewy, everything's down today. It's a tough day. Fannie Mae up
Not
$50. Yeah. 200% we've made on this.
$200, yeah.
If
how's our friends doing?
Well, wait till you see this.
No, I can't wait.
All right. Get rich. Guest portfolio. They're doing better today, but
Boo!
boo.
Almost down. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of red.
Yeah, there's just no hope. They're going to be holding on to they're going to be like us with Spirit Airlines holding on to Pulte homes. It's only upside from here.
Yeah.
Just brutal. You know what is hilarious? No, I don't.
The S&P 500.
The S&P 500, which is only down.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Just look at the chart. Look at that chart.
Belly laugh. Belly laugh.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So that was the S&P. They're down today.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are basically trouncing the S&P, though. I mean, we are. We are solidly beating the S&P.
Yes, at long last. So you just had to stick with us, you know, like
Patience is the number one thing.
As is probably always the case with my portfolio, or at least that's what I'm banking on with the never sell premise.
It's really your only hope. You're just praying.
I'm like, one day this is gonna turn great. Just you wait.
3D printing is.
I'm waiting. I'm holding out. And you think I'm ever gonna sell Spirit? Never. Not a chance. They're gonna be sending me those letters that are like, please, you have to decide what to do with these stocks. Like, you have to decide. Do you want to take this 50 cents, or do you want us to just like, we're just gonna take your money if we send you another 65 letters?
We start
and I'm
charging
like, I'm
you.
not answering those letters. I'm not responding. I don't respond to terrorists.
I don't answer to you.
Yeah, you guys make my stock worth more money, or don't talk to me again.
Come and take my 50 cents. Come and take it.
No, that's my money. It's my money. I own this company pretty much now, since everyone else has backed out.
You know who doesn't own a company? We talked about this briefly. I don't know if you remember it, but they blocked the takeover of U.S. Steel by Japan's Nippon Steel, supposedly due to security.
American pride and stuff. Like,
well, that's honest to God, I think the real reason is U.S. Steel has the words U.S. in it. I mean, like, I think it's like symbolic in some way. And they blocked it because like I live in Cleveland. There's like 10 other steel companies right here. If you're like what is Japan gonna do to the security of our nation due to U.S. Steel owning U.S. Steel? Like, they close the plants, they fire all the workers. Well, there's 9 more. You know, right? I mean, I promise you, it's all very dubious. I mean, this is the transparent era. Everything's out on social media, on the internet, like. You cannot say this bullshit like this is a national security issue, a steel plant, 1910 technology. Yeah. Anyway, rant over. Yeah. So old economy, new economy again. How about this headline? Ford and GM grew EV sales faster than Tesla. They beat them at their own game, selling electric vehicles.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Tesla this stock to me is the same thing as Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's like you're not really investing in fucking anything real here. Yeah. Like, it's not real. It's just Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
But like, your logic will not work with this one, like, because it's Elon Musk. When he's in favor, my Dogecoin does great. When he's not in favor, my Dogecoin does shit. The end. And same with Tesla. Like, I think it's probably a good investment, honestly, to get on board with Tesla and whatever. If he goes public with SpaceX, whatever his shit is, like, you know. I mean, yeah, like, should I buy more Dogecoin now? Because, like, this is just speculation. Just nothing but, like,
Well, the freaking Bitcoin people, like, I mean, they're convinced Bitcoin's here to stay and it's going to 1 million. It's at 100,000.
I still don't completely understand, nor am I interested enough to learn.
Well,
like,
do
I see a bunch of stores starting to take cryptocurrency? Like me go to Kroger and then be like, well, you can buy this for, you know, your grocery bill is $50, or we could take 0.000017395 Bitcoins. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's cumbersome to buy and sell this stuff. You know what I mean? And it starts to sound super shady, and I start to get like, oh, well, this doesn't sound like a great way to expose my bank account information. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like dicey.
To this North Korean website?
Right, exactly. like, I don't know. I'm already getting warnings all the freaking time about my email being exposed, which I'm like, who cares? I'm like, okay, my email's been exposed across the dark web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
like every other day. Like every other day.
Oh, I know. And then you
I'm
get an
like,
email,
okay,
and it's
yeah.
like, then
And
you
I'm
get an
like,
email.
what am I supposed to do about this?
Get a new email.
Change all of my passwords? Like, yeah. Get a new
Again.
email, change all of my passwords. Like, which my phone is already like, you have 227 passwords that we think you should change. Like, that's not even all the passwords you have saved on here. I'm like, well, fuck it. I don't care. They can just have my stuff. Whatever. I mean, fucking my computer with the BitLocker thing. Like, thank God I turned it on. I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen now. I know what's going to fucking happen. But luckily I took a screenshot of my fucking password, which, by the way, I'll just read you part of it because it's fun.
This is like memorizing pi.
2174448. Yeah, this is, let's see. It's 48 digits long. So 21744800704. 216-337 for 48 fucking digits, and I have to do this every time I turn my laptop on. That has like literally nothing but my resume on it. Like, there's nothing on this
It's the
laptop
best
at all.
protected resume there ever was, though.
I
Ain't
mean,
nobody gonna
no
edit
shit,
this
right?
resume.
No one is getting in my fucking resume. No. I've had too many drafts fucked with over the years. Never again. No one is. It's not happening. It's so ridiculous.
Have you ever been the victim of resume hacking? If
Totally. People are always fucking with my resume. I put it in and they're like.
If so, subscribe to our service, resumelock.com.
You will now have 14 passwords that you have to enter before you can access your one-word document.
You got to turn that thing off, man. You can't. You got to get rid of that thing. Forget it. So I'll save my story. Somehow people got my Poshmark account, but now we need to do the gummy bear update.
Oh yes.
All right, so we gotta. So like I said, we gotta pace this so that we eat this over the course of.
Yeah, so maybe
16,
only take one bite.
15. All right, 2 pounds, 10.1 ounces.
All
which I will
right.
submit to you once again. I could eat this whole thing. 3 pounds. I mean, I feel like I've had burritos that are about this size, and it's not a pleasant experience
I just
afterwards.
think you'd be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure, I'd be like that. I didn't say I wouldn't. There wouldn't be consequences. I said I could do
You'd
it.
be like, this is great. I can do this every day.
The
like
5
it's
pound
good?
gummy bear a day challenge. Oh my god.
Oh, God.
2025.
Like, I mean, I know Lauren said that you can't give yourself diabetes, but I think you could if you ate a 5 pound gummy bear every day. I think your pancreas would be like, fuck you, I'm out. Like, that's enough. Like, I'm done.
I mean, what do you want from me? I'm only human.
Like, listen, you're in 5 pounds of gummy bear a day. Like, you don't want to be alive. You don't want me to stay. Clearly, this is an abusive relationship with your pancreas. And they're like, I'm done. No, I'm done with you.
You didn't do it once either. Like one time I came up to your apartment, I knocked on the
Beat
door.
me once. Okay.
I was like, hey, could you keep it down up here a little bit? I'm trying to sleep.
No, I cannot. Crank that shit up. I'm doing this tomorrow. Also, 5 fucking pounds every day, motherfucker. Like, yeah, take it. This is who I am, and you're stuck with me forever. Yeah.
2 pounds, 8.6 ounces. So that's a pound and a half, or an ounce and a half. Should I leave it at that?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go for a pound and a half, you can see. We can see if we're right about how your pancreas will react.
No, I'll pass.
Yeah.
If this gummy bear were gold, by the way, that would be worth about $3,900. That what I just ate.
Oh, that's quick math.
2,600. Well, I did pound. Well, because it's 1.5, and I was just using $2,600 an ounce, which I don't know if that's right, but
What? How do you know?
It's about right.
How do
It's
you know
about
that
right.
Offhand. Huh.
I listened to this. This is what I do.
You're like, I'm up to date on what the cost of gold per ounce is.
Yeah, because that same thing with the
checked into that
Bitcoin
shit.
too. I'm also like, should I put some money in gold too? I mean, all the gold people are like, they're like the uranium people. They're just all standing on their heads. Like, gold's going to 10,000. It's at 2,500. It's going to 10,000. You know, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. You know, uranium's going to $500. You're like, it's at 85.
I mean, yeah, they're either gonna be like, we're going to the moon, or they're like, run for your lives. Like, you know, like that's every financial like thing ever. It's always like, oh my God, put your money in your mattress for the love of God. Empty your bank account, put it in the mattress. Oh my God. Oh! Like
putting money in the mattress. That's for sure the gold people. I mean, that's one of the big reasons they're like invest in gold is because, everything else is going to go to hell because of this, the national debt
right.
and inflation and
right.
anarchy in the streets. And that's when you need. So don't just
totally.
put money in your mattress. Go get gold and put that in your mattress.
Yeah. Set up your own Fort Knox in your house.
Well, you want the real thing too. You can't just get like certificates to say you own gold. You need gold. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then try to go to Kroger and buy yourself a loaf of bread.
And then you're like, all right, I will break you off a nugget of this, which I'm telling you is worth more than that, like the salmon.
A nugget. It'd be like a shaving. Like those gold coins, like a 1 ounce coin is like yay big. And that's worth $2,000 plus $2,500, $2,600, So you'd be like, all right, break off a pencil lid,
I mean, sometimes when I'm at the store looking at Saffron, I'm like, how much does this Saffron cost? It'll be like way like 0.015 will be like $40. And I'm like, that's very expensive. $40 for like 0.015 grams of saffron. Like we're talking gold prices thereabouts. Like
I think what the moral of this story is, make sure you have a saffron position in your portfolio.
Yeah, in your freezer. I'm ready for the apocalypse. I got my gold coins and my saffron, and my money is safely stowed away in my fucking mattress. Do I have renter's insurance? No. But like
because you can go down to the freaking market and trade that saffron for whatever.
That's right. And if my house sets on fire, then like, that's not so good, but whatever. Yeah. Like all my cash in my mattress is gone.
Yeah,
sadly,
and all the saffron in your freezer. But thank God, the gold coins, they'll just be melted down to
melted all over things like candles. It'll be beautiful.
I don't know why we don't call this financial advice.
I mean,
example.
It's totally financial advice. Money in the mattress. Get away from banks.
And buy saffron.
Lots of gold and saffron.
Yeah. I was considering introducing this episode, rule number 3. So rule number 1 is get a job. Rule number 2 is spend less than you make. Rule number 3 was like compound interest. If you could teach kids in high school one thing, I feel like financially for sure, it's like compound interest. Like put the money in now, it's going to be worth a lot later. But not if you do it in saffron.
Yeah.
But
right. Not if you put your money in your mattress, which I can't think of like a worse thing to do with your money than put flammable stuff in your house. Like
physical dollar bills in your house.
Yeah, literally like,
You know what this is? This is a listener question. Give us something worse to do with your money, something to store your money than putting it in your mattress.
Right. Yeah. Like digging holes randomly in fields and just putting in bags labeled with $1 on it. Like,
trusting hobos with your money. Like, here, hold on
to this. I'll be back for it in like 10 years. Don't look inside the bag.
Yeah, and it's got a $sign on the back. It's like straight out of the cartoon.
Hold this. Right.
I'm entrusting this to you.
Yeah. But
Abe.
But don't spend any of it. I'm coming back for it. In a while.
You know what? I think that's where we ought to wrap it up. I think we've shelled out enough wisdom for this week, Kalyn. I mean, we've got to save some. We got 51 more weeks of 2025, so we cannot give out all the goods right now. Let's cue the music. You have been listening to the Robert and Kalyn Teach You Where to Store Your Money podcast. This week's lesson was saffron. This is like Sesame Street. This week was brought to you by
the letter S for saffron.
And the letter M for mattress. And this episode was brought to you by this 48-digit number.
Kalyn has to type in every time she turns on her computer.
That'll train you to never turn off your computer is what that'll do, I'll tell you.
Right.
Well, anyway, we digress. We've got important work to do here. One is to tell you to subscribe, to rate us, to like us, to send us to all your friends and everyone else in your life that you think needs advice where to store their money around their house.
Or anything else. We have lots of life advice here.
Yeah, mention the way of life advice.
And history lessons.
I can't wait to hear back from the Indians fans in your life about this episode. But just remember, there was one thing that this was not.
financial or investment advice.
That's so right. Send us an email, Robert and Kalyn Get Rich @gmail.com. Kalyn is spelled Kalyn. If you can't remember how to spell it, look at the title of the damn podcast. Come on, dummies.
Yep.
Don't make us give it all to you.
Right.
You know, you got to work for it. With that, Kalyn,
Okay.
I think we got to say goodbye.